Hello everyone, Dr. Vasco here.
I'm Dr. J.
We want to talk to you today about the 5 essentials to health. Dr. J, what are the 5 essentials to health?
So they're called the 5 essentials, not the 5 sometimes or the 5
Good
whenever.
ideas.
Yeah, the good ideas or whenever I'm feeling like it. It's just the 5 essentials, very simple tools to add in your tool belt to increase your life, increase your longevity, and just help you have a better understanding of how to just live a longer and healthier life. The first essential would be chiropractic and understanding the nervous system, the connection between your brain and your body, and just having a fully functioning nervous system. The second one being nutrition, what you're putting in your body. I say there's no bad food, there's just bad ingredients, and understanding your nutrition, just putting good and helpful proteins, carbs, and fats in your body. And that in my opinion is the true medicine, the what you're consuming on a daily basis. Your mindset, are you walking around thinking like, oh, I'm sick, I'm hurt, I'm never gonna get better? Well, yeah, of course you're not. Like it all starts in the mind and who you think you are. And I mean, you will be who you think you are. And if you gotta have that positive mindset, you gotta surround yourself with people who are bettering themselves, mentally, physically, spiritually, getting better every single day. And then oxygen and exercise, essential. Like we were designed to move, to run, to lift, and just working out, getting a sweat in each day is just essential to your health and longevity, and muscle mass, being able to do the things you want to do for longer, whether that be sign up for triathlons or just playing with your grandkids. Oxygen and exercise is very important in that. Removing toxins is another essential, and we just live in a very toxic world, and just understanding that and taking steps to minimize the exposure to toxins, whether that's just, obviously in the food we eat, deodorant, shampoo, toothpaste, just replacing the bad with the good and having a good start on that. And how many did I mention? Is that 4?
You mentioned all 5 actually.
All 5?
So just in summary, we have nervous system. So that's where chiropractic comes into play, making sure the brain, the spinal cord, the nerves are able to function optimally. We have nutrition, making sure we put the right nutrients into our body that fuel our body, right? What we eat becomes our living tissue. We have mindset. So that's the order that Dr. J mentioned them in here. So 2 people can have the same experience and have very different response to that. So the way we think influences our health outcomes. We have oxygen and fitness, which means we're oxygenating the tissues. That's an essential for health, of course. And then we also have minimizing toxins. And the beautiful thing about these is that not only does the research support all of this, they also just logically make sense, right? Like if we think about how do I improve my health? If I improve these different 5 areas of my health, then I'm improving function and overall life and health and vitality. So when we think about health being defined by function, not how we feel, but how well our bodies are functioning, these 5 essentials give us a framework to think about how well am I doing in each of these categories. So how well am I maximizing my spine and nervous system? If you were to rate your spine and nervous system on a scale of 0 to 10, what would you put it at right now? If it's, let's say, a 4, that's very different than if it's let's say an 8 or a 9, right? What about nutrition? How well are you doing on your nutrition? So if you were to rate it 0 to 10, what number would you give it? What about mindset? How well are you doing on mindset? Being able to have clear thoughts with intention, without being able to respond appropriately to stress situations, etc. How well are you doing in oxygenation and fitness in your body, 0 to 10? And how well are you doing on minimizing toxins, 0 to 10? So if you think about these 5 essentials, you're able to assess where you are, well or not so well, and therefore take appropriate action to address your health. So I love the concept of having a framework like this, because it gives me clarity on how to prioritize the action steps that I have for my health. Because sometimes people come in here and they're very motivated to take action, but they don't necessarily know where to start. They don't know what's a priority and what's not. So the beautiful thing too about these essentials, they're not a secret. Like anyone has access to this. And over time of just working with a lot of people over many years, we're able to see patterns, and between our education and the patterns we observe clinically, we can start to support people on their journey so that they can understand, okay, this is a priority, this is a good strategy, and this is how you follow through on that strategy. So any thoughts on that? Like just how well people are able to assess where they are and then also take action on the things that are high priority?
And short-term goals, long-term goals are great, but we have to think about health as health has no finish line. It's a constant growth.
Absolutely.
Is it a constant refinement, checking in with ourselves? Where am I doing with the 5 essentials? How can I get better? And I like to ask patients, okay, you're 45 years old right now, and you have all these things you're dealing with. Well, what does 55 look like? What does 65 look like? And how well are you going to be able to move and function? And just being consistent. Consistency, it sounds cliche, but day in and day out, can you make the good decisions? Can you decide to go to the gym? Can you, instead of eating McDonald's, just eating like some chicken, beef, whatever you like, and just being consistent with it on a day in and day out. And that's where true growth happens. It may seem mundane in the beginning, but like a month from now, 2 months from now, you're going to be feeling, and more importantly, functioning a lot better. You're going to have a better quality of life.
So when I think about just getting great results in our health, I think it comes down to, and you alluded to this, is like doing things consistently. I think it comes to doing the right things. So having a good strategy and doing the right things. So doing execution. So we have a good strategy, we have good execution. So it's doing the right things, doing enough of the right things, and then doing enough of the right things for a consistent period of time. And when we do that, and this is a principle that applies across many contexts, including health, we do enough of the right things for a sufficient period of time, and we get the outcome, the result that we want. So sometimes people don't know what the right things are. That's a strategy issue. Sometimes people know what the right things are, but they're not executing on them or not giving themselves sufficient time. And then sometimes people are all gung-ho for executing. They don't have a plan in place, or they're not focusing on the important priorities, and then they miss the mark. So if there's an aspect of your health right now that you're looking to improve, or there's an area of your life that you don't feel fulfilled on, just think about, like, is it a strategy issue or is it an execution issue? And depending on where you are, look to address that. And if you need support, obviously lean on the people that you have, that you trust to guide you in this aspect of your life. So the last note that I had on here on this topic is just like a quick call to action. The call to action, if I was to kind of coach you through this process, would be figure out where you are in the 5 essentials. So like 0 to 10, rate each of them so you have some clarity and some objective measure of what is a priority for you. Whatever essential you rate the lowest, that's the one that you should take action on first, because that's the biggest return on your investment of time, energy, money in this direction, right? So that's one thing, is commit to figuring that out and just to have clarity around this aspect of your health. The other thing is just commit to mastering health. I love what you said, that health is not a destination, it's like a lifelong pursuit, right? If you just commit to mastering this area of your life, I think that would have a tremendous benefit to you in your quality of life. Health is not like an area of our life we should focus on. It's kind of foundational to everything else. Because if we're building a great life on a weak foundation, then one disease, one diagnosis, one crisis can just crumble everything. So when I think about health, I think about it as a foundational aspect of life. And then the other thing is, Tony Robbins talks about this. He talks about majoring in the minors, where sometimes we are really good at things that don't really add a lot of benefit to our life. So I look at health as one of the majors in life, right? Like if there's an aspect of a life that is worth mastering, health is definitely one of them. So to whatever degree that makes sense to you, but perhaps just take some time to think through that. And if you have any questions or concerns, or any you need additional guidance and support, lean on us as well. We're happy to support you. Any final thoughts?
That's it. Good
Awesome.
stuff. Yeah.
Live healthy, live empowered, and live abundantly. We'll see you on the next video.